were you living at the time when you were drafted?
I was living in Leonardville, Kansas.
And why did you join?
Well, I really didn't join. I was drafted, so I
I had no choice.
had no choice.
Did you pick, or why did you pick the service branch you joined?
For here again, in the Army, you didn't have much choice as to what you wanted to do. It's where they decided where they wanted you to go. And so I really had no choice there.
Do you recall your first days in service?
Well, yes, they were very different than what I had been doing, so I remember them quite well.
Is there any memorable experiences from those that you'd like to share?
On December 7th was when Pearl Harbor was attacked, and it was a Sunday evening, and I was where I was, Fort Bragg, North Carolina, and I was in my barracks, and there came an announcement over the intercom that all the men who had been on the firing range to fall out in the Battery Street. And I had been on the firing range, so I fell out in the Battery Street in formation. And they said that Pearl Harbor had been attacked that morning, and that we were given 15 rounds of ammunition to walk guard that night. Prior to that, we had had a billy club to walk guard with, but since the Japanese had attacked at Pearl Harbor, we were given 15 rounds of ammunition. I remember that. That was on December 7th, 1941. I think that's right. I think that's correct.
Tell me about your boot camp or training experiences.
Well, I was in the Field Artillery Replacement Center and doing my basic training in Field Artillery. And probably there was remembering the bivouacs that we went on overnight hikes. You'd have to go out, camp out in a pup tent, 2 men to a tent, and you had to sort of just play everything by ear, and that was my bivouac experience. That was one of the experiences I remember.
Do you remember your instructors?
I remember some of them. Some of them were very fine people, and I enjoyed meeting them and knowing them.
What motivated you to get through it?
Pardon?
What motivated you to get through?
To get through it? Well, I knew I had to do this, and so I decided I was going to make it a learning experience, and rather than hating every day of it, I said, okay, I'm here, I'm going to learn and do what I can. And so it was an experience that I learned a lot from.
Which wars or war did you serve in?
This was World War II.
Where exactly did you go?
Well, I did my basic training in North Carolina at Fort Bragg, and then I was sent from there over to over to Wales, and I was in England and France, and Germany, and Austria, overseas.
Do you remember arriving and what your surroundings were like?
Well, I remember a little bit about it. Everything was so different because I don't know if we're talking about Fort Bragg or Wales here, but I suppose when I was sent overseas into the European theater of operations, everything was new and everything was different, so it was an educational time of my life.
When you went overseas, what were your duties there?
I worked in administration.
Did you see any combat?
Not anything close up, because we were in the Signal Corps, and we were more or less kept up communications between the field artillery and the infantry, so we were not actually in the front line, so to speak, like the infantry were.
So were there any casualties in your unit?
Not that I know of.
Tell me about a couple of your most memorable experiences.
Well, I suppose the one that I mentioned about falling out in the Battery Street the night day of Pearl Harbor. Another might be as my first air raid that I went through when we were in England, hearing the planes coming over, knowing it was an air raid, where we all ran for shelter. I can remember that.
Are there any more?
I don't think I can recall right now.
Okay. Were you ever a prisoner of war?
No.
Were you awarded any medals or?
Well, I got the good conduct medal and rifle marksmanship
How did you get them?
by being a good soldier.
When you went overseas or when you left home, did you stay in touch with your family?
Yes, while I was on stateside, I could call them by phone, and then when I went over into Europe, it was through letters and email correspondence.
The food you had, what was it like?
Oh, it was not too bad.
Did you have plenty of supplies?
Yes.
Did you feel pressure or stress?
At times, there was pressure, yes.
Was there something special you did for good luck?
No, not that I recall.
How did people entertain themselves?
Movies, and then we had USO receiving mail, and while I was on stateside, we went to football games, stuff like that.
Were there entertainers?
Yes, the USO.
What did you do when on leave?
We'd go to interesting places around the area where we were. We were near mountains. We'd go up into the mountains, or if there were interesting places such as the cities that we'd close by, we'd visit the cities, things like that.
Again, where did you travel while in the service?
Oh, I sort of answered that before with Wales and England and France and Germany. This was known as the European Theater of Operations, is what it was called.
Do you recall any particularly humorous or unusual events that happened?
Oh, not that I can recall, no.
What were some of the pranks that you or others would pull?
You know, I wouldn't pull any pranks.
Do you have photographs?
Yes.
What did you think of officers or fellow soldiers?
I respected them for what they did and for what they taught me.
Did you keep a personal journal?
Nothing specific. I did keep my letters, or my mother kept my letters that I had sent home, so I have those as sort of a history.
After your military career or in service, do you recall the day your service ended?
Nothing more than it was an exciting day. We were all happy.
Where were you?
In Austria in Germany.
What did you do in the days and weeks afterward?
Waited for orders to come through so that I could go home. And then I did travel some.
Did you work or go back to school?
I did. I went back and got my master's degree.
Was your education supported by the GI Bill?
Yes, it helped with my master's degree.
Did you make any close friends while in the service?
Yes, I did.
Did you keep in touch with any of them?
I did for several of them. At the present time, I'm just keeping in touch with two of them that I was with in the service.
Did you join a veterans organization?
The American Legion.
What did you go on to do as a career after the war?
I continued my teaching profession.
Did your military experience influence your thinking about war or about the military in general?
Yes, I think so.
If in a veterans organization, what kinds of activities does your post or association have?
Oh, mostly working with helping with civil organizations and group organizations.
Do you attend reunions?
Not regularly.
How did your service and experience affect your life?
Well, I think it made me thankful for all that I had, all that I was able to enjoy, and was thankful that I was home again.
Is there anything you would like to add that we have not covered?
Nothing more than it was an experience that I will never forget, and it made me realize that life is very precious.
And before you told me that you liked liberate the concentration camps or something like that? Is that right?
Did I what?
Did you like go in and
Oh.
liberate the concentration camps?
No, nothing more. We didn't liberate them, but we were in a concentration camp shortly after it was liberated. So we saw some of the sites and how they treated these people in the concentration camps.
Do you have any stories with that?
No, nothing more than, because we didn't have anything to do with the cleanup or anything like that, other than we just saw it. It was sort of impressed our minds. Well, how terrible what they went through. It's hard to believe what they did.
Yeah. Do you have any stories at all you'd like to share?
I can't think of anything, no, not really.
Okay. Well, good.